there's a theme in Queens, and I know Nas is a part of this. Queens get the money. Sorry, Jay-Z, we win again. I just had to rub that in.
Jay-Z is heated right now. And honestly, who wouldn't be? Imagine putting your billionaire name, your brand, and your legacy on the line for a flashy Times Square casino, only for the city to slam the door right in your face before the ink even dries. And then, not even a week later, NAS, yeah, that Nas, the same one who cooked Jay with ether back in the day, gets a green light for his own $5 billion Queens casino project? The timing's way too slick to be coincidence. And just when you think it couldn't get more disrespectful, Queensborough President Donovan Richards steps in and throws salt on the wound. Reporters quote him saying, "Queens gets the money. Sorry, Jay-Z, we win again." Like, what? That's not shade. That's a public victory lap at Jay's expense. You can practically hear New York buzzing. Fans are connecting dots and everyone's whispering the same thing. This ain't just business anymore. This feels personal. People are calling it a full circle moment, like the ghosts of the takeover versus Ether era came back for revenge. Jay tried to flex hard with his Times Square Caesars Palace casino plan, a billion-dollar gamble to turn Broadway into his empire's next crown jewel.
Yesterday, Wednesday, a state board rejected the Times Square casino bid from Jay-Z in Roc Nation and those companies that I mentioned.
He sold it like a vision. Luxury, legacy, and New York royalty vibes all over it. But the community? They weren't buying it. The Broadway League went off, residents protested, and the advisory committee straight up said, "Not here." That's when everything crumbled, and that rejection hit different. It wasn't just a business no, it was a reminder that not even Jay-Z is untouchable in New York anymore. And just like that, boom! Jay-Z's dream of a Times Square takeover went up in smoke. This man isn't used to taking public L's, and that's what makes this sting so much. Jay's entire image has been built on winning, on always being 10 steps ahead, the ultimate chess player in the game. So to see him get shut down before his project even reached the final round, that's not just a loss. That's a straight-up dent in the business mogul armor he spent decades polishing. Here's the twist that really burns. Jay wanted Manhattan not just for the money, but for the bragging rights. The glitz, the tourists, the flashing lights, the power of Times Square itself. That was supposed to be his empire, his Brooklyn to Broadway legacy. But the city looked him gone in the eye and slammed the door shut. Then, days later, Nas strolls in from Queens with a smile and walks away with the golden ticket. Like, what kind of movie plot is this? This wasn't just a no for Jay. This was the setup for a revenge story in real time. Because if there's one thing about Hav, it's that he never forgets who doubted him. And just as Jay's Times Square dreams were going up in flames, Nas was out in Queens quietly cooking up his own victory.
Did I lie? Did I not tell you them crackers was not finna get Jay-Z no damn casino in New York City? Did I not tell y'all that? This man now would have took a loan against his house because they wouldn't even give him a loan to go and put a bid in on the casino because he had the owner of Caesars Palace and then he had an ex-federal informant and mob ties down there trying to put a bid on a casino to bring in the Broadway.
Now peep this. Queens Resorts World at Aqueduct, backed by Nas himself, just got the official green light. And this isn't some tiny side hustle. It's a $5 billion mega project that could turn Queens into a mini Vegas. We're talking luxury hotels, live table games, blackjack, poker, craps, a full-blown concert arena, and even a sports academy with NBA legend Kenny the Jet Smith. This ain't just a casino, it's an empire. And Nas, he's not just a face on the poster. He's got real equity and has been hands-on shaping the whole vision. When Nas spoke on it, you could feel the pride in his voice. This wasn't just another money move for him. This was personal. He said straight up, this project is a win for the community, promising jobs, opportunities, and a path for the next generation of young leaders to rise up. And then he hit them with that cold finisher. Clearly, with this project, the world is ours. Boom, mic drop. That line alone had social media going crazy because let's be honest, the timing couldn't have been more savage. Jay-Z gets rejected in Manhattan, and right after that, Nas slides in with Queens shining like the hometown hero. Fans online are losing it, joking that Nas ethered Jay again, but this time with business receipts instead of diss bars. Like, how poetic is that? Now yeah, on paper, it's just two rap icons turned moguls chasing billion-dollar casino bids. But if you really line up the timeline, it's deeper than that. For Jay, this isn't just about losing a deal. It's about losing to Nas, and that's the one opponent he never fully escaped from. That loss hits the ego way harder. See, Jay's whole identity has always been the Brooklyn mogul who made it from the grind to greatness. The man who turned street hustle into luxury power plays.
With their decision, as they obviously voted against the casino.
You know it. We met the standard and then some, and the only one with courage to stand up is the governor and the mayor appointees, and everybody else runs and hides.
From Rockefeller to Rock Nation, from platinum plaques to billionaire status, Jay's been the one everyone thought couldn't be touched. But then here comes Nas. Calm, quiet, patient, showing up again just when the world forgets about him, flipping the script and reminding everyone that Jay-Z ain't untouchable after all. And let's not forget, Jay once tried to clown Nas on Takeover, calling him washed and irrelevant. But years later, Nas is out here stacking billion-dollar wins. And that's the kind of revenge money can't buy. And what did Nas do back then? He came back swinging with Ether, one of the most savage diss tracks in rap history, and dragged Jay through the mud until the whole game flipped on its head. The man didn't just defend his name, he rewrote the power balance in hip-hop with a single record. Fast forward to now, and the casino situation feels almost identical. Jay tries to build this flashy Times Square empire, a billion-dollar monument to his legacy, only to get shut down before it even got rolling. Then, right on cue, Nas steps in from Queens, the so-called underdog borough, and snatches the win like it's déjà vu all over again. The irony is insane. But to really understand why this moment cuts so deep for Jay, you gotta rewind to where it all began. The roots of their legendary feud. See, it didn't start with business or bragging rights. It started with something smaller, but way more personal.
The future is not something you wait for, it's something you build. It lives in the hands of the doers, the dreamers, the people who refuse to stand still. Resorts World is more than a casino. It's energy. It's opportunity. It's hope for the borough. A second chance for some, a first step for many. It's where community gathers. Not just to win, but to build a future once imagined. This isn't just business. This is legacy. And now it's time. Time to invest in us. Because the future doesn't ask for permission. It moves with purpose. From our chairman to our newest employee, we're committed to Queens. And in Queens, the future is now.
Back in the mid-90s, Nas was already the golden child of New York hip-hop. After dropping Illmatic in '94, he became that guy. The lyrical genius, the street poet, the standard every MC wanted to meet. Meanwhile, Jay-Z was still clawing for recognition. His debut, Reasonable Doubt, '96, is legendary now. But at the time, it didn't even chart heavy. People respected it, but it didn't hit mainstream the way Jay hoped. And then came the spark that lit the fuse. Jay wanted Nas to appear in his video for Dead Presidents, but Nas never showed. Instead, Jay just took Nas's voice from an old track and sampled it for the hook, without asking. That move rubbed Nas the wrong way, and from there, tension started building quietly, but fast. It became this silent rivalry. Jay chasing the crown, trying to prove he was the new king of New York, while Nas looked at him like a hungry newcomer who needed to know his place. That unspoken power struggle? It never really went away. And this casino drama just proves it's still alive today. By now, everyone's seen the pattern. Jay-Z always tries to one-up Nas, and Nas always knows exactly when to step back in and remind him he's not untouchable.
What was your thoughts when you heard the song?
This motherfucker, he's going crazy. This motherfucker going crazy. Oh, yo.
But things really exploded after Biggie's pass, when the New York rap crown was suddenly up for grabs. That's when the tension between them stopped being quiet shots and turned into a straight-up power battle for the throne. After Biggie passed in '97, the whole city was buzzing with the same question: who's next to carry the crown? And that's when Jay and Nas went from rivals to full-blown opposites in a battle that split hip-hop right down the middle. Jay saw himself as the natural successor, the guy who earned it, dropping consistent projects, rubbing shoulders with the biggest names, and slowly building an empire brick by brick. He wasn't just making records, he was making moves. Meanwhile, Nas already had the Chosen One label, the poetic voice of the streets, the kid who made Illmatic, a project so legendary it put Queensbridge on the map forever. But his follow-up albums? They didn't hit the same. Fans started whispering that maybe Nas had lost his spark, and Jay? Oh, he made sure those whispers turned into headlines. On tracks like Where I'm From, Jay threw slick subliminals, painting himself as the new king of New York, the man Biggie would have passed the torch to if he was still alive. He never said Nas's name outright, but everybody knew who those bars were for. Of course, Nas wasn't the type to just let that slide. He came back with his own quiet jabs, like on We Will Survive, where he hinted that Jay was trying too hard to claim Biggie's throne instead of earning it. The fans loved it. Every lyric, every sneak diss, every coded message. The city was divided. Brooklyn riding with Jay, Queens holding down Nas, and the battle for New York's soul was officially on. The city was split in two. Brooklyn versus Queens, Jay-Z versus Nas, the hustler turned mogul against the poet from the projects. It wasn't just music anymore. It was about who truly owned the soul of New York.
Of how you made this beat.
I was at one of those conventions, like a How Can I Be Down or something like that. And I think Nas' album had came out. And every car that was driving by was playing, Whose World Is This? And I, you know, and the pianos and the drums and the whole cadence of that record had me like, yo, this is amazing. I want to make a song like that.
The tension was real, and by 2001, everything reached its breaking point with two records that would go down as hip-hop history forever. Jay finally decided he was done playing nice. He went nuclear. At Summer Jam 2001, he dropped Takeover, calling Nas out by name and saying he only had one classic album, Illmatic, and that his career was basically gone. The crowd went insane. The whole arena was shaking, and for a hot minute, it looked like Jay had ended the conflict with one verse. But oh no! Nas wasn't going out like that. A few months later, Nas came back swinging harder than anyone expected. Ether dropped, and hip-hop stopped in its tracks. This wasn't just a response, it was an execution. Nas tore into Jay's credibility, ego, and image line after line with bars so disrespectful that fans were left with their jaws on the floor. He hit every angle: Jay's business, his looks, his whole legacy. The shift was instant. The streets were saying, Jay got bodied. The word ethered literally became slang for obliterating someone so bad they can't recover. That's how legendary that diss was. It became part of the culture itself. And now, fast forward to this whole casino drama, and you can't ignore the parallels. It's like Ether Part 2. Jay, confident and talking big again, betting on his legacy, and Nas, calm and patient, sliding in to take the W right under his nose. The patterns don't lie. History really just repeated itself. And just like in 2001, Jay couldn't sit with the loss quietly. Within days of Ether dropping, he fired back with Super Ugly. But this time, instead of keeping it lyrical, Jay went too far. He crossed lines that had nothing to do with rap. He started bragging about sleeping with the mother of Nas's daughter, taking the beef from competitive to personal and grimy. It shocked everyone. Even longtime Jay fans couldn't defend that move. That's when the whole tone of the conflict changed. Jay wasn't just losing the battle, he was losing respect. Jay really thought that wild move on Super Ugly was gonna earn him points. But man, it blew up in his face. Fans weren't impressed, critics weren't impressed, and even his own mom wasn't having it.
Nas or Jay-Z?
Nas. I'm gonna go with Jay.
Some Queens gotta go Nas on that. Okay.
I say Nas.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z.
You taking a shot already? Easy to me. Jay-Z?
Nas all day. Let's go.
Jay-Z. Nas or Jay-Z? Nas.
Damn. Jay-Z.
Nas or Jay?
She actually made him call up Hot 97 and apologize live on air for taking things way too far. That moment said it all. Jay crossed a line that you just don't cross, and everybody knew it. From that point on, the tables completely flipped. People stopped seeing Jay as the slick strategist and started viewing him as the aggressor, while Nas became the survivor. The quiet warrior who refused to bow down no matter how much pressure came his way. That shift in public perception changed everything. And that's the wild part. Every time Jay tried to bury Nas, Nas found a way to rise again. It's like no matter what Jay threw at him, diss tracks, power moves, or business plays, Nas would always flip the script and make Jay look out of touch or desperate. That's why their rivalry never really died. It just evolved with time. But here's where the story takes a turn no one expected. After years of bitter shots, legendary disses, and a battle that shaped hip-hop forever, Jay and Nas did the unthinkable. They squashed the beef. And get this, they didn't do it in some private business meeting or low-key industry handshake. Nah, they did it live on stage in front of the entire world. It was 2005. Jay was headlining his I Declare War concert, and the energy was electric. Everyone thought he was about to call out new rappers or reignite old beefs. But then, boom! Nas walks out as a surprise guest. The crowd lost their minds. The same two men who once tried to destroy each other stood side by side, shaking hands and showing the world that even the deepest rivalry can turn into respect. The crowd went wild. The moment Jay-Z and Nas stood side by side, two men who once tried to end each other's careers, it felt like hip-hop history in real time. They shook hands, smiled, and even performed together, turning years of beef into one of the most powerful moments the culture had ever seen. The energy was unreal. You could literally feel the peace, the shock, the respect. After all the insults, the disses, and the years of tension, they came together like kings reclaiming the same throne. And they didn't stop there. They went on to collaborate on tracks like Black Republican and Success, proving that even enemies could turn that fire into legacy.
Now, Super Ugly, at this point, I feel like the kid gloves were off. And it was just like every man for himself, no holds barred.
It was bigger than music. It was about growth, power, and showing the next generation that real bosses know when to move past ego. But let's keep it real. Even though they made peace, that competitive spark never fully died. The quiet tension stayed simmering under the surface, like two lions sharing the same territory. And now, with this casino drama, it's starting to feel like that truce has officially expired. Because this isn't just Jay versus Nas anymore.
It was met with the disrespect, but I'm really sorry for the other people involved. Because it was either that or we would see each other somewhere and it would be like, I don't know what happened.
This is Brooklyn versus Queens all over again. And if you know your New York hip-hop history, you already understand the weight of that. Brooklyn has always been about big stages, money, and status. Jay-Z, Biggie, the Barclays Center. All power moves and prestige. Queens, though? Queens has always been the gritty underdog borough. The home of LL Cool J, Mobb Deep, Nicki Minaj, and of course, Nas. It's raw, it's real. It's about respect and legacy, not just shine. So when Jay's Times Square casino got rejected in the heart of Manhattan and Nas turned around and secured Queens with a $5 billion win, the symbolism was too loud to ignore. The streets said it best. Brooklyn fumbled. Queens carried. And for the fans who lived through the Ether era, it's like deja vu, the same story playing out. But this time, it's written in billion-dollar ink. And honestly, that's exactly what makes this new blow hit Jay so much harder. It's not just business anymore. It's personal history coming back for a rematch. This isn't just Nas one-upping Jay. It's Nas doing it in front of the entire city, on his own turf, with the crowd cheering him on like a hometown king. The energy in Queens right now is electric, and Jay? You already know this one's cutting deep, because if there's one thing about Hav, it's that he never forgets humiliation. This time, it's not about bars, diss tracks, or concert stages. It's about power plays and public wins. Maybe the next round of this rivalry won't be fought in the studio, but in boardrooms and billion-dollar deals, where every move is personal and every headline hits like a verse. So what do you think? Did Nas just hand Jay another Ether moment, but in business form? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more wild stories like this, because this feud, it's far from over and you don't want to miss what happens next.